Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? I'm back in the car, back in Indianapolis. Got in about 10 o'clock tonight and went home, unloaded my backpack and stuff, and hung out with Alex and the dogs. He's still not feeling very great, but I guess he's feeling good enough to get going tomorrow. He has his like chiropractor appointment early tomorrow morning, so I hung out for a little bit with him, and then he was like, I'm going to bed. I was like, okay, babe. And so anyway, he was just like asking me how stuff had gone. I was telling him about the weekend and whatever, but so yeah, and then I went and got a Fountain Papa Tanya. I'm like awake. I'm like really awake. But I think I'm gonna listen to a little bit of my audiobook since I have 18 hours of it to listen to before Sunday. But I've like been going all day today, and I just kind of like want to relax a little bit. Had to get up this morning super early for the stuff with my friend, and it went fine, it went well, and we were done really early, so I came back and I got like a late checkout at 12:30, so I went back to bed for a little bit, and then I got up and got ready, took a shower and all that kind of stuff, and checked out. And then I like checked my bag so that they could like watch my bags. I like went around and did stuff because I didn't want to like lug my bags around with me. And had to get the fan back to my friend's building, my fan that she let me borrow. And then I sat outside on, like they had this patio, like they had this like, really nice like entryway in the hotel, and then they had this like really nice like bar, and then they had this like wrap around like area, and I sat out there and had a cup of coffee, and that was just about it. And just kind of sat there and just enjoyed myself for like a half an hour, 45 minutes, and just watched people walking by and all this kind of stuff. And there was actually this like couple that was sitting out there that I could tell that they own like some kind of business or something together, and they were like leaving too, and because I could like hear them saying something about when they had to leave or whatever, but they were like splitting a bottle of champagne while they were both working on their computers and stuff at this like table out back. I was like, that must be a fun way to work every day, you know? So anyway, and then I went and I got lunch, and then came back, and it was still like early. My flight left at like 7:30, 7:40, something like that. And so I had set in my head that like I needed to leave to go to the airport at like 5:30, but I thought, for some reason, I thought my flight left at 5:30 because I had like programmed in my head when I had to like leave. And so for some reason today, like when I got up and stuff, I was like, oh, well, like I need to go to the airport at like 3 or 3:30. And then I was like looking at my stuff, and I was like, oh my God, like I have like the entire day to sit here, but I didn't want to really do anything. And it was hot in Miami, and I didn't want to get like super sweaty and stuff. So I sat in the lobby of the hotel for literally like 2.5 hours. And after I ate lunch, I came back from lunch, and I was like, oh, I know what I did. I was like, so I walked back, and I was like hot and sweaty when I got back. And so that area is like really where Alex wants to live. It's called Brickell, and it's really a cute area, but I kind of knew it was probably pricey. So I was walking around there, and I was like, because there was like this one building that I kept on seeing, And every time I would see it, I would be like, oh, I really like that building. But it was like a block and a half away. But it was in that same area. And I was like, I think, like, I could live in that building. Like, I just had this weird feeling, like, I could live in that building, you know? And we've looked at some places down there, but not, like, real seriously. So when I was walking back, I kind of, like, walked to the different neighborhoods. It's very quiet through there. It's very, like, if Peter was going to live in a building, it's where Peter should live. It's, like, very quiet through there. Not to talk about myself in third person, weirdly. So I walked over to this building, and there was like a guy sitting inside, like at this like table, and I was going to go in, like a desk, and I was going to ask him, like I was going to go inside and ask him the name of the building because it just had the address on it. But this woman was coming out with her dog, and so I like stopped her, and I was like, do you live here? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, what's the name of this building? And she was really sweet. And then so I took a picture of the building and the address, and then I like walked around. I took a picture of another building that I liked. And I was kind of just like walking through the neighborhood. I was like, do you think that you could live here? And I was like, I could live here, you know, like I could totally live here. And so I got back and I sat forever in the lobby, and I was kind of just like scrolling through while I was charging my phone, because my phone was about dead at that point. And so I was like looking up these apartments or condos online, and seeing like the prices of them and stuff. And some of them really aren't that bad. Like in this building, I was kind of surprised. I actually picked one of the cheaper buildings in Brickell. And so I just kind of screenshot some of them that I, you know, was like, okay, these could kind of be realistic price range wise and stuff like that. And then at the bar, they were doing like a training of, like they were training the bartenders. This woman was training like all of the bartenders in there. I couldn't figure out what they were doing at first. I thought it was like a class for like people that were staying at the hotel or something. But two of the people that were there were from like the bar last night. Like when I like was like walking around, I noticed them from last night. And then the other two were from when I was like at the pool. Like, this girl was from the pool, and this guy next to her, I think, was the other guy that was like working up there with her when I got the Diet Coke, or when I got the Coke, or whatever. And so I was like, oh, I think this is like they're doing a training. And so I just like literally sat there for like an hour and a half, and I like listened to this. I was kind of like tired and hot, and I was like listening to what this woman was saying and stuff. She was saying some really interesting things. I thought it was kind of funny. Like, she was telling them like really good kind of like PR stories about being bartenders. And like one of the things that she said was, I was like, she's really good at what she's doing. You know, I'm always kind of like evaluating. And so she was telling them, you know, like when you're like making a drink for somebody, it's interesting because I don't drink, right? So like for me, my observations or my perspective of alcohol is different than I think somebody else. But she was like, you know, when you ask somebody like what they're wanting, like a lot of people like their drink, they have like a personal story attached to why that is their drink. And she was like, you know, and the other thing is when they pick a certain kind of alcohol, and she was like talking about their different kinds of alcohol, their well drinks, she's talking about their well drinks earlier, like their well, I couldn't hear what their gin and tequila was. Like there was music playing over, so I was like trying to hear what she was saying, but like their well vodka was Finlandia, their well rum was Bacardi, and their well whiskey was like Jack Daniels, which I thought that those were kind of like high-end well alcohols. But anyway, I drank Jack Daniels back in the day, and I never thought it was cheap. So anyway, but she was saying that like these different liquors for people, like whatever brand they are like, that's somebody's life's work. That they like designed this liquor, and they like, you know, it's like their life work. It's not just a liquor brand, it's somebody's life work, you know. She was going into like kind of the history of some of these liquors, which I thought was really interesting, you know, that she saw it that way as a bartender. And then she was talking about, she told a story about, one story was like, why you always, like, so much of what you do is about personality and like building a relationship with the person that's sitting across from you. because you never know who they are. And she was like, it's not just, you know, like, which was funny because the person that gave me my Coke at the pool, there was no the personal interaction. She was just like, Coke. And I was like, yeah, is it going out of focus? Come on now. Oh, don't do this tonight. Come on. We'll let it go out for a second and see if it goes back in. There, it goes back in. So anyway, but obviously a Coke is different than a drink, right? But maybe not this story. So she was telling about how, like, she worked in some bar and, like, this guy came in and he ordered, like, 2, like, really cheap beers or something like that, and she didn't think much about it or whatever. And then, like, she ended up, like, talking to him and, like, asking him about his life and whatever, and he ended up, it reminded me of this country music song. I can't remember what the song is called, but it's about these 2 guys sitting in a bar. I love this song. Well, I can't think of what it's called. And at the end of it, he says, so he meets this guy in a bar. Well, anyway, basically what she said was that this guy left her like a couple $100 as a tip, and he ordered 2 beers, right? And it was just because, like, he was, like, lonely and talked to her. Do you guys know that country music song? It's one of my favorite songs. Damn it, why can't I think of what it's called? And he's sitting there and he's talking to him, and at the end of it, he's like, I opened up the paper, and I saw this picture, on the front page was this picture of a millionaire, and he said something about his kids were mad as hell. And me, I'm doing well. And then he's like, he goes out to the gravesite and he leaves him a 6-pack on his grave. Do you know what song I'm talking about? I love that song so much. But anyway, I've become my father with country music. My dad always loves country music. I was raised on country music, and now I'm like, love all the little stories of country music. But anyway, she was telling that story. And then another story she told I thought was really interesting, because I thought this was kind of like a person that doesn't drink anymore, but maybe, like, doesn't, like, work a recovery program. And I know, we call that dry, but I know a lot of people that are dry, you know. Or they went to meetings for a while and they don't anymore, or whatever. Hey, whatever works for you, you know, like, I don't judge people about that. But anyway, she was telling this story about this guy, and, like, when she was going to, like, when she had been trained, she was taught, I can't remember how she said it, that she was, like, trained, like, if somebody doesn't touch their drink or doesn't drink their drink, to ask them, like, do you want me to make it over? And she was like, this guy, like, ordered a drink, and it was, like, some $50 drink, some liqueur. And so, or special whiskey or something, I don't know what it was, but it was like $50 for this drink. And so he was, like, she was sitting there talking to him, and he, like, got the drink and, like, ordered it, put it in his hand, like, rolled it around and, like, put it down and, like, never touched the drink, right? And she just had some weird feeling, and he didn't say anything about why he wasn't drinking the drink. But she's like, you know, typically in that situation, you know, I was taught that you should, you know, ask, like, is there something wrong with your drink? Do you want another drink or whatever? And she didn't do that. She said he, like, sat there for like 20 minutes and didn't touch his drink, or half an hour, I don't know. And she said, do you want can I get you another one? And he said, yeah, I think I would like another one. And so, like, over the course of like 2 hours, he sat there, and she, like, so, like, another half an hour, 20 minutes goes by, and he doesn't drink that drink. And so she came back up to him, and she's, like, talking to him and stuff, and she's like, can I get you another one? He goes, I think I'll have just one more drink. And so she ended up giving him, like, 3 drinks, and my music is playing with no sound on. I don't know why. But anyway, it's playing The Moon is a Harsh Mistress by Judy Collins right now, which is one of my all-time favorite songs. But anyway, so she was like, so he ended up ordering 3 drinks. They were like $50 each, so it's like $150. And he ended up leaving her some, like, large tip, and she, like, found out that, like, he said something to her at the end, like, I don't drink anymore, but I used to, but sometimes I still like to just come into the bar and order a drink and remember what it was like to be able to sit at a bar and, like, have a drink, which I thought was interesting. And they were all, like, all the bartenders were like, oh yeah. But she went through this whole thing and about, like, respect for the story of the alcohol or the person's personal drink and whatever. And she was like, that's why when people, like, a lot of people will come up and say, like, I don't know what I want. And she's like, these are why you suggest certain drinks, but you should always use the drinks that have the alcohol. There's certain alcohol that we push because it's, like, the brands that we use for the hotel. But she was like, But at the same time, she was like, you want them to have like their own like personal drink that they get excited about. So you can ask them some questions that really don't have to do with alcohol. Like, what do you like? Like, what taste do you like? But you can ask them like, you know, like, what are you in the mood for? And like, you know, you ask them things like, you know, are you in like, I'm just making this up, but like, you know, like, are you in Miami on like vacation or work? Cause it's, you know, like you can kind of get like an idea of what they might like be a special drink for them if they don't really know what they like, you know? I don't know. I just thought that her whole way of going about it was interesting. I think like sometimes when we talk about like, I mean, that's, oh, I just bit the side of my mouth. Damnation. That is, when you talk about, you know, customer service or marketing or anything like that, you know, PR even, I think it's all, a lot of it is in, you know, like how you make people feel. And doesn't that go back to like when we were, you know, growing up, like, you know, the golden rule, or, you know, like treating people the way that we would want to be treated and things like that. I am so tired of the construction in Indiana. It is literally constant everywhere. Side streets, interstate, everywhere. So anyway, I sat there, and then I went and I went in the bathroom and like brushed my teeth, put deodorant on again, and because I had taken a shower and everything that morning, and sprayed on cologne. I used my Scentbird that I took with me, and Burberry, and I will say that Scentbird thing is like, I love it for traveling. And then got the Uber to the airport. That lip gloss kind of, those birds flying up there. That lip gloss kind of came off pretty quick. I took my Tatcha lip balm with me and didn't open it once, but I did use my lip gloss quite a bit. My Manny Mua lip gloss. And then, oh my God, and then at the airport, I had to walk forever and ever and take one train and one tram and all this kind of stuff to get to my gate. And then I was hungry, so I got snacks for the plane. But then they had like this little Pizza Hut place there, so I got a cheese pizza and breadsticks, but I didn't eat all of it. I ate all the breadsticks, but I didn't. I had like one piece of the pizza and a few, maybe 2 or 3 bites of another piece, and that was it. It wasn't very good. It wasn't very good at all. But it did remind me of back in the day, we had a Taco Bell. What do they call it? Taco Hut or whatever they would call them back in the day, or a Pizza Bell. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? When like Taco Bell and Pizza Hut were combined and they would call it like a Taco Hut or a Pizza Bell. What did we call it back in the day? Y'all know what I'm talking about? But I would go through there and I would get a Nachos Bel Grande and then like a mini Supreme Pizza all for myself and breadsticks. And that would be my dinner. Oh my God. So then I had started already. Oh, I downloaded, I bought it on iTunes and downloaded, well, both of them, the Rob Zombie movies, 3 from Hell. So it goes House of a Thousand Corpses, which in this movie they reference, and they called it, I've always called that movie House of a Thousand Corpses. They called them, because they were referencing the murders that occurred, like it was like a real thing, and they said the House of 1,000 Corpses murders. Like that's what they called it in the movie. So I was like, oh, I guess the movie's called House of 1,000 Corpses. But anyway, so it goes House of 1,000 Corpses, and then the sequel is called The Devil's Rejects, and then the third one is called 3 from Hell, and it was really, really good. Like, okay, House of 1,000, it's a House of 1,000 Corpses to me. House of 1,000 Corpses is like super, super, super scary and gory. Devil's Rejects is really gory, but I don't remember it being as scary. This one I thought it was going to be really scary. It wasn't super scary. But it was super gory. But the story was really interesting. So it was the three of them. If you haven't seen The Devil's Rejects, this won't ruin it for you, but they like basically get shot up at the end. Like the three killers, they're like, it's like this Captain Spaulding guy that plays a clown. That's what his name goes. He goes by Captain Spaulding, and he's like a clown. And then this Otis guy and his sister, I can't remember what her real name is, but she goes by Baby. And that's actually Rob Zombie's wife, Sherry Moon Zombie. She is fantastic. She's so good in this movie. I mean, she was good in the other two, but I think she's in Halloween too, that Rob Zombie redid, but she's really, really good in this. And there's this one guard in the prison that plays this guard, and I think her name is like Greta or something. She's really good too. But anyway, she calls her, you just have to see the movie. If you like horror movies, I'm telling you, you have to watch these. It's fantastic. It's so well done. And so, it's just basically about the three of them and what happened after The Devil's Rejects, and I don't want to ruin it for you. Well, and there's another, so then their half-brother, who I don't remember if he's in one of the other two movies or not. I think he may have, I don't remember The Devil's Rejects very well. But he, like, the half-brother's in it, too. But it kind of went in a direction that I didn't think it would be. And then something was going on with my, like, Amazon Prime. I had, like, downloaded some movies, but it was trying to, like, play them on something, some other, like, my TV app or something on my phone. It kept on like shutting off my, like shutting out of the app. I don't know what. I was trying to watch Medea's Halloween Boo 2 or something that I had started and I hadn't finished. And I kept on getting to the same part and like rewinding it because I couldn't understand what they were saying. But anyway, so I didn't get very far in that. The flight was super short. It was supposed to be like 3 hours. And I ended up getting in like 45 minutes early or something, 45 minutes early. I mean, I feel like by the time I finished that movie, we were like landing. There was a friend of mine on the flight that I didn't even know was like a pretty good friend of ours too, that I didn't even know was in Miami this weekend. He was like, I wish I had known that you were in Miami. I was like, I wish I had known that you were in Miami too, because I didn't have shit to do. But anyway, so yeah, that movie was really good though. It was like a good movie, like not just like a scary movie or like a horror. I don't know why I can't say horror, but like horror movie. It was just like a scary movie. It was good. And now it's Halloween. I like walked to my car and I thought it is going to be so freezing outside. Like when I went outside, and it really wasn't. It's 52 degrees right now. It's, I mean, it's cool, but it's not like as cold as I thought it would be, you know? I thought it would be like freezing outside, and it's not. So anyway, but it definitely does look like Halloween. I was like, when I was going to lunch today, there was like some of these houses like had Halloween decorations like outside, and I was like, this is so weird seeing these houses in Florida like next to a palm tree, and there's like a skeleton hanging from a palm tree. It just felt weird. It was at the end and I didn't even know it. It beeped. Sometimes it beeps and I hear it, and sometimes like if I'm talking I don't hear it. So yeah, I think we're gonna go back down in a couple weeks. I'm not positive, which definitely means we can't go to Colorado to see Susie now in November, but that's okay. We'll go in like January, February, just for like a long weekend. I was actually looking at like, I was like looking at when we have to go back down there, and it's like, hotels are so expensive and stuff, and I don't know if it's because we're booking it so close, but I was like, and I want to be like I mean, this was fine. I like this area, but there's just like, I want to be able to be like by the beach and go to the beach and stuff, you know? So I was like looking at Airbnbs and stuff, because a lot of hotels, and I don't know if this is just normal around the world, because have I ever stayed in an Airbnb? I don't know if I ever have. But a lot of them are like apartments that people own in hotels. Is that like a normal thing and I'm just stupid and I mean, I've seen that before, but that maybe like so many of the units in like a hotel are like residences and so many are like actual hotel rooms. I don't know. And then Melissa was asking if we wanted to go to this Hannah's Haunted Acres on like Wednesday or Thursday this week. So I mentioned it to Alex, and he's kind of looked at me like, babe, I do not feel well. So I'll just wait and see when they decide to go, and if we decide to go, we'll go, but I don't know. Tanya went, and she took the girls to go see it, and they loved it, and she said she was literally like in the middle of the hayride the whole time because she was so scared, and people were like jumping out and grabbing at you and stuff. I don't love that kind of stuff. That makes me nervous. We have this friend of ours, and I saw her at Aaron's party, and she's so funny. But like, she is somebody that you would think would get absolutely terrified, but she loves haunted houses. And I was like, girl, don't you get scared? Because she like hates like horror movies and like true crime she doesn't want to hear about. She's like, don't tell me about true crime, I don't want to know anything about it. She like hates that kind of stuff. And so we were standing there, and I'm like, don't you get scared? And she's so funny, and I'm like, don't you get scared in like, you know, haunted house? And she's like, no. And I was like, why not? She's like, it's all fake. She's like, don't you know it's all fake? And I go, yeah. And she's like, I mean, they're just people jumping out at you. I'm like, well, what do you do? And she's like, I literally just walk through and they jump out at me and I laugh and stuff. And I'm like, I don't know, like, I don't think of it that way. Maybe it's because I've seen too many scary movies that take place in haunted houses and things like that where an actual killer is like in there, that I'm like, you know, like, I think, I don't know. The corn is really high out here. A little something in a second. But anyway, so yep, it's Halloween week now and I'm excited. And I didn't make videos for 2 days. I kind of missed making videos. And I was like, oh, I'll just make them when I get back. What movie was I watching? I was watching some movie with Eddie Murphy on that Freeform. It was actually really good. Something Haunted Mansion. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I don't know how there's so many of these movies that I haven't seen. I'm gonna turn around up here. I'm probably not gonna vlog for a whole lot longer because I just don't have a whole lot to say tonight. On my way home, I wanna listen to my audiobook, and I'm to focus on that and that. Oh my god, I'm gonna kill Mel for making picking a 18, almost 19 hours, 18 hours and 40-minute book. At least it's like, okay, some of the books, like, okay, for Harry Potter, I have such a hard time listening to it faster than like 1.25 speed. I try to, but it's hard because the accents, first of all, and then of the Jim Dale who reads, his narration is fantastic. That's the other part, is I really want to enjoy. It's like sometimes when the narrator is really, really good, I like to enjoy the like their narration, so I don't listen to it as fast. Who's the one that does like The Hate You Give, and she did the Underground Railroad? Bonnie Turpin. Oh my God, she's so fantastic. She's like one of the best narrators ever on Audible. There's like some narrators on Audible that are like really, really well known. So anyway, I think that's her name, Bonnie Turpin. She's a fantastic narrator. So I'll slow it down and like listen to that a little bit. But with like the Harry Potter ones, first of all, they're so daunting because they're like 18 to 20 hours long. Some of them are longer than that. And then I can't listen to it at 2 times speed, so it's not like a 9-hour book, which a 9-hour book is a long book because like for me, an average book is between 8 and 10 hours, right? So if I listen to it at 2 times speed, that's 4 to 5. And people are like, how do you listen to a book that fast? I'm like, do you realize how fast I talk? Like I talk so fast, right? So I hear fast. So it's like, come on, when people are talking, I'm like, so anyway, I mean, Tanya and I in the car were like, oh, la, 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 la. That's why like Melissa and I are so perfect when we're talking, because we just like talk over each other and it's like we totally understand what the next person is going to say. So anyway, but like an 8 or 9 hour, 8 to 10 hour book is like 4 or 5 hours for me to listen to, because I can listen to it on 2 times speed. Well, when it's like a book that like you really like have to listen to everything that they're saying, I like am constantly rewinding it because I just, I don't like, so I'm constantly like dun, 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 on my screen or whatever, because I, am not catching what they're saying, and so then I end up slowing it down, and then it takes forever. But this one, the Iceman Confessions, is not that bad. Like, the narrator reads it pretty slow anyway, and then what happens, oh my God, so then this is funny. So then, like, I'll listen to it at 2 times speed, but then sometimes I'll slow it down to, like, 1 point speed, or just regular. I do not know, like, I was talking to Mel one day, and Mel was telling me that she listens to it at normal speed. Normal speed is like, I was driving down the street to go to the store. When I got to, I'm like, how do you listen to an audiobook this slow? I do not understand it. But then if you listen to it like 2 times speed, it's like, I was driving down the street to go to the store. Tanya's like, whenever she like, I have the window down when I like driving up to her house, and she can hear it. She'll be like, oh, she'll be like standing outside the car, and she'll be like, oh. Alex is just like, when he gets in the car, he's like, how do you listen to it that fast? I'm like, I don't know, because like whenever we get a brunch, I'm always like, okay, I was finishing this chapter last night, let me finish just like, he's like, you're so funny. These semis go down these roads like 90 miles an hour. So yeah, but this one's not bad. I can listen to this one at 2 times speed and not get like super like behind or distracted, as long as I kind of like pay attention and listen to it, But if I start thinking about something other than the book, like I have learned just to stop the book and listen to music, or like just, I like to actually drive in silence a lot and just think to myself. Especially when I'm like working on like a book, and right now I am working on character development for a book, and so it's really good for me to like just drive, and I think a lot to myself like, well, what would she do, or what would he do in this situation, or like what's something like obscure that she would think about, so I can really see the person like as a person, like the character as a person. And oh, they have some really cute Halloween decorations out there. So yeah. weird having been in Miami just like earlier, you know. I mean, not even that long ago. And now like I'm driving, it's like, it literally looks like Halloween out in the country, you know. I gotta watch all my Halloween movies. I was thinking about this the other day. One of the movies that I loved when I was growing up was, I think it's a Disney movie actually, Something Wicked This Way Comes. It was a Ray Bradbury book, but if you've never seen it, you should see. I think you can, the whole movie is actually on YouTube. I think I looked it up. And it is such a fantastic movie. And it's about the October, he wrote another one called October Country. I'm not a big Ray Bradbury fan, but I can see this book, because I ended up buying this book when I was like, you know, in junior high or something, because I became obsessed with this this movie. It's about these two kids, these two guys that are friends, and they're probably like 6th grade or something like that, and it's like takes place in Illinois, I think. It's just beautiful, the scenery, and I think it was filmed in Vermont. I think I even looked it up, but a Halloween carnival, or like, I think it's October Carnival, comes to town. I don't think it has anything to do with Halloween, I don't remember. This October Carnival comes to town, and basically it's a lot about temptation and things like that, and fulfilling your, like, this carnival will fulfill your every desire or dream or whatever, and it's like this, you know, evil carnival, and these kids want to go like bad, and then, but anyway, Jason Robards, I wonder what happened to him. Did he pass away? I bet he did, because he was old in that movie. But anyway, he plays the dad. He plays the librarian of one of the boys, which is so funny, because I think, like, as I'm sitting here talking, I wanted to be a librarian for a really long time. Can you imagine? I think I would have been a good librarian. I did, though. I wanted to work in, like, some small town library, and that's probably something I've never talked about on here. Like, I mean, I really looked into, like, going into library science. I thought it would be really fun. You know, when I drive, like, through Zionsville and stuff, like that, like, where it's, like, brick streets, like, that would be a town that I would, like, love to be, like, a librarian at, like, a little town, like, library there. Also, Help, I'm a Prisoner in the Library. That book had a lot to do with that, too. But when I read this book, Jason Robards plays this one kid's dad, and he is, I think that kid was, like, ended up being famous in something too. But anyway, he ends up, the dad is a librarian at the town library, and because of that, I think I wanted to be a librarian for a while, because it's like this old, very cool library. I keep on saying library, so weird. It's like this very cool old library, and I remember wishing that I had a library like that. And they're like running around in the stacks and stuff. It's cool. We don't really have libraries like that much anymore, you know. But anyway, I want to watch that. I want to watch It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. What else do I want to watch? Oh my God, Fat Albert's Halloween is the best. I have that on DVD. I used to watch all the Roseanne Halloweens, but we'll probably do that at Melissa's. I've watched every Halloween movie almost. Like Halloween, the franchise. Oh my God, Children of the Corn was on Amazon Prime. I almost downloaded that the other day, but that movie seriously scares me. Well, until it gets real weird at the end, but like the first like half of that movie, like Children of the Corn, I cannot have that movie on during the day when I'm at home by myself. I can't, it scares me. I think because it takes place in like broad daylight and it's like so scary, you know? Have you guys never seen it? Oh God, that is a spooky movie. So what I was gonna say to you guys earlier when I said I have something to tell you guys was that so many people were like, oh my God, Peter, on these country roads, what if something, I was like, do not say that. Like, oh my God, everything's fine, everything's good, positive thoughts in the universe, put positive thoughts out there. So I was driving out there and I was thinking of reading those comments and I was like, oh my God. Because I'm almost back into like the city part where I get back on the interstate, so. Take me home, country roads, to a place I belong. Virginia. Mountain Mama. I downloaded a bunch of John Denver a while ago. I love John Denver. I don't know why. But when I was growing up, my mom listened to a lot of John Denver. On Grandma's featherbed, it was 6 feet high, 9 feet wide, soft as a downy chick. I cannot remember the words to that song to save my life, but I used to love that song. My favorite album, though, is John Denver and the Muppets Christmas. Oh my God, I love that album so much. It's almost Christmas. Get ready for the Christmas stories. Get ready for the Christmas stories. All right, you guys, I'm going to get off here now. I know this is shorter, but I want to listen to my audiobook as I head back home, so I'm going to get off here. I hope you guys, what is tomorrow? Tuesday? Oh, Tuesday's my meeting night. Tanya's like, can you come earlier so that you are not, so that we're not running late? I'm like, we're always on time. She's like, yeah, but we always have like just 2 minutes when we're walking in the door. I'm like, fine. So I have to get there earlier tomorrow night. Anyway, I'm happy to be back in Indianapolis for Halloween week. Anyway, I missed my little car drives late at night, so. But anyway, I hope you guys are having an amazing Tuesday. Unless you have other plans, but like I always say, do not have other plans. Make the most of your day. Really hear that, okay? Like today, somebody said that my outro gets longer and longer and longer. I'm gonna make it short. So that, you know, you think to yourself, today, life is not a dress rehearsal. What do I wanna do today that I'm gonna look back on, like seriously, and be like, okay, you know what? I did this, this was fun. Or I'm proud that I did this, or this was a good thing today, you know? Something that you'll look back on in your life and think, that was a cool moment. And, yeah, if no one else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day, so we work on feeling good about ourselves and self-validation, and say every day to yourself in the mirror, I love you. You are valuable and you are worth all of the good that comes to you in the world. And believe it in your heart of hearts. And do your positive affirmations and do your gratitude lists every day. They help me. And when I do mine, they really, really help. And most importantly, make sure that you pass it on to somebody else and let them know how much they mean to you, how much you care about them, and how much they affect your life positively. Just pick just one random person today. All right? And next time I will try to shorten my outro. I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. But I will never stop saying this. Love ya. Love ya. Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing tonight? Well, I did it again. I slept straight through the night. It is currently 6:08 a.m. on Saturday. So this is Friday's vlog. But I feel really rested. So the reason why it's a problem is not so much that I'm getting up at 6 a.m. and filming my vlog, which I'm sure is strange to a lot of people, but it's not strange to me. Actually, I saw my neighbor yesterday, my new neighbor that moved in. She was like, "You have kind of crazy hours." And I said, "Yeah." And she knew that I like make videos for YouTube. And I was explaining to her what I do, and I said, you know, sometimes I like to go to sleep with Alex, and so like I'll go to sleep with Alex, and then I'll wake up and be like, oh my god, I forgot, you know, I still have to go vlog, and so I'll go outside and I'll vlog and whatever. And she was like, that's so much fun that you get to do that. And I was like, yeah, I love it, you know. So anyway, it wouldn't really be a problem today because I would go back home and maybe go back to sleep for a couple hours, although I'm weirdly like awake. And I think the reason is because I literally got 7+ hours of sleep. I slept straight through the night. I mean, I was out. I remember like Alex and he like put his hand across my chest, and we were like talking about today or Saturday, and I turned like, and I was like, good night, babe, love you. And I like turned over and I was out. Like, I don't remember anything after that. And he was on his phone when I told him good night. So, it is cold in Indianapolis. It is 30 degrees. Oh, but the reason why, like, it usually wouldn't matter, but today it does, is because today is Carlitos' birthday party, which is at 2 p.m. And I'm meeting Alex there because he has like work stuff he has to do today. And then I got some water before I left. I was so thirsty for water. You know, and of course I want to make videos and stuff. So we've got to figure out a time to do that because we're apparently going to his birthday party at 2 o'clock. I'm sure that will probably go 2 hours, 3 hours, and then we're supposed to go back over to Carlos and Liliana's for like, to hang out and do like birthday cake or something over there. So it'll end up being this very long deal. Well, I also have my audiobook that I have to listen to. And so my plan had been to really drive around tonight, Saturday night, and listen to like 4 hours of it. That had been my plan, to listen to 4 hours on Saturday night and 4 hours on Friday night, sorry, and 4 hours on Saturday night, and then have the whole thing done. I know there are some people that are like so confused right now, like what day it is and whatever, watching this. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It's like Janis Joplin said, it's all the same effing day, man. But you know, like, I was gonna listen to 4 hours on Friday night. I was gonna get my vlog done early, and then, because that's why I laid down at like 10:30 and something like that, and I was gonna lay down from 10:30 to like 11:30, I think is when I set my alarm, and then get up, and I was gonna vlog from like 11:30 to 12:30, and then I was going to listen to my audiobook till like 4:30 in the morning. And then tonight, I was gonna listen to like another 4 hours throughout the day, and then I'd have the book done. Well, now I've screwed myself because it is the day before the live stream. We may have to move the live stream. I just don't know how I'm possibly gonna get this book done in 24 hours. I don't know. I need to talk to Mel about it today. I mean, it's not like it's a huge ordeal. There's only like 30 people that come to the live stream, which is great. You know, I mean, I've never in a million years thought I'd ever have a book club that had that, you know, 30 to 50 people that attend. Here's my coffee lip balm. There's like 2,000 people that are active, like, well, 2,000 people in the book club. And of course, not everybody reads the book every month, but there's quite a few people that read the book that just don't come to the live stream. I would do the live streams on YouTube since I figured that out. But last time we guested a bunch of people. That water tastes so good. But last time we guested a bunch of people. And I want to be able to do that again, and you cannot do that on YouTube Live anymore. Plus, I can kind of like moderate what's going on a little bit easier. The fact that it's smaller, I don't know, keeps it just a little bit nicer. So, because it doesn't go so fast, you know. So that's supposed to be on Sunday at 4 p.m. I'm gonna have to talk to her today and see what we're gonna do. I don't want to go into it just not having finished the book. I like the book. I just don't know that there's any way that I can possibly get it done. That means I have to listen to 9 hours in 24 hours. I just don't know that there's any possible way that I can get that done. So anyway, but I had kind of planned that on Saturday I wasn't sure that I was going to make videos anyway because of Carlitos' birthday party, and I just kind of wanted to be with family and stuff. So I was like, well, maybe I'll just take the day. But on Friday, because I was so busy, I had like all this sobriety stuff to do on Friday. I was like, I had like this commitment in the early evening, and then I was had to meet with a friend of mine in the afternoon. I was like, well, maybe, but I ended up making videos on Friday. So, okay, what did I do? I got up, and like I said, this vlog, did I say this already? This vlog is not going to be super long. It just can't be, you guys, today, because I have too many things. I'm on my way currently, well, I'm in the direction of, whenever I finish vlogging, I'll probably go in there and do it. I'm in the direction of going to get Carlitos' birthday present. Alex already got him something. He got him a bunch of Spider-Man stuff. Apparently when he was at Target. So Alex got off work yesterday and he went over and picked up Sarah, and then they went to Target and he bought Carlitos' birthday present. He was gonna get it from both of us, but I was like, no, I want to get him something too. So when he was there, he FaceTimed Carlitos and like was showing him stuff, and I was like, well, that makes it real exciting for the kids. So he got him like the Spider-Man stuff. He really wants a remote control car, so I think I'm gonna get him a remote control car is what I'm gonna do. People are up and early at Denny's this morning. So yeah, that's the direction I'm going in. But anyway, what was I gonna say? So this is gonna have to be a short vlog today. I got up on Friday and I'm trying to think of what I did. Oh, like I got up and I took the dogs out, gave PP his medication, and then I had to like leave and get out of the house because I had to go meet up with my friend. And so I went and met up with my friend for coffee. And then I had a bunch of errands to run after that. My day seemed to go so quick because I didn't leave there until like 3, and then I had to be at this recovery commitment thing at 5, and so it was like my day went super fast. I came home in between and I filmed. Did I do it afterwards or before? No, I did it afterwards. After, so like I'm just saying it was like an hour long. It's like an hour and a half long. And then I got home about 6:45 and I filmed a video for my Peter Mon channel, and then I filmed a video for my Peterisms channel. And I wanted to do a review video, but I didn't get to it. And, not enough hours in the day. That's how I feel. was thinking about this yesterday because I announced my book and my Peterisms channel so I'm going to start doing this like every month on my Peterisms channel. I'm going to read a book. There's going to be like, it's like kind of like a read along, not necessarily like a book club, but like a read along. Self-help or motivational book. And so for November, I'm reading The Four Agreements, and by Don Miguel Ruiz. I've never read it before. I heard it was fantastic. And but I was thinking about like how in my life I've had people like criticize me and be like, you're always starting things, you're always like new ideas, and you sometimes like don't like your ideas never, come to fruition, but a lot of times they do, A lot of my ideas that I've started, like a book club or like a vlog or whatever, have taken on a life of their own, or YouTube. When I started doing YouTube on BookTube, that was like when I was committed to like posting regularly. I never thought, I never in a million years thought that it would turn into this, where it literally became my life. I just really had no idea. And that was just 3.5 years ago. So it's crazy how, much your life can change in such a short amount of time. I posted this picture yesterday on my Instagram, and I was like, can't wait to be back. It was like from Miami, and I was like, can't wait to be back in Miami, or be back in Miami next week or something. Will be our second home, hopefully very soon or something. Oh my God, I got so many people from like my personal life that called me and was like, are you moving? Did you not tell us something? Blah, 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 whatever. Like Melissa texted me and she was like, are you moving to Miami? What's going on? I was like, Melissa, we were just at your house last night. Don't you think we would have told you? And, but we have kind of been on the down low looking at houses, and it's been very exciting. We have some areas picked. And we kind of did anyway, that we, like, areas that we were looking at. I would love to be right in South Beach, but that's just not realistic. It's just too expensive. And as much as I like that Brickell area, which is one of the areas that we looked at, I just don't know that we can afford that. Like, I just think, I just don't want to be house poor for a second home, that we're not going to be in all the time. And it's not really in an area that you could Airbnb it. You could, but I don't know that. I don't know. And that's not really what I want to do with a place anyway. Like, if I have my own second place, like, I want to have my own second place that I can go to whenever I want. But so anyway, yeah, I don't think I really want to say a whole lot more about that right now. But we are seriously starting to look at some places. The other thing is that we would never move completely from Indianapolis. We would go back and forth. PB had a great day today. He was weird. I don't know if maybe it's the weather and now he's used to it or what, but he woke up today, and what is this sandwich called? It says, is it called a Pilgrim? It's like all turkey. The Pilgrim, it is. And it's like, oh, a Thanksgiving feast in every bite, and it's cranberry sauce and turkey, and at the Get Go gas station. They should sponsor my channel, the Get Go, for me sending people to go eat their Thanksgiving feast sandwich. See, that's like something that sounds good if I wasn't a vegetarian. But like, turkey almost sounds worse to me though than a cheeseburger, in all honesty. PB did great today. I think he coughed like once the entire day, and he was super active, and he was running around in the backyard. I don't know if maybe he's just, now it's 34 degrees, that's so weird. Maybe he is just used to the weather. I think what happened was the night before I had felt bad for him because he just seemed so hungry, and he doesn't like that food. So I gave him like a huge plate of Boo and Tucker's food, and he literally ate it down in like 2 seconds. And I think it just made him sick. I think like he was like, his little stomach couldn't handle it, and I thought I was doing something right, you know. He just hates that food that he eats. Like, he hates it. Like, tonight we put it down, and he wouldn't eat it. And you know what was so funny was, I stood in the kitchen finally, and I was like, Pee-Pee, I was like, that food is perfectly fine. You need to eat your food, Pee-Pee. And he looked up at me, and then he started eating the food. When I stood right there, he ate it. Like, ate it. And, like, not like just nibbled around it, but like he ate it. But then he did that for like 5 minutes, and then he looked up at me and he like walked away, and like half the plate was left. I was like, damn it, baby. You know, and our vet had always said, she said, I would rather have a lean dog with heart disease than a heavy dog with heart disease. So, you know, she's always happy with his weight, but I don't want him to get thin. Like, I don't want him, you know. And Pee-Pee's never been heavy, and he's never been super thin. So, but he's doing much better today. He was running around the backyard and chasing his brothers, and then I had to, like, he's so funny. At one point, like, Boo and Tucker came inside, and I was like, Pee-Pee. I was like, come on, Pee-Pee, let's go inside. Let's have treats. And he just, like, looked at me. And so I, like, walked inside, and I was, like, doing some other stuff, and I came back out there, because, like, he just walked around the backyard, and I go, Pee-Pee, I go, come on, we gotta have treats, let's go. And he just, like, stopped and looked at me, and then he kept on, like, sniffing the grass. So I let him keep on walking around. I went back out there like 3 or 4 minutes later. And I go, Pee-Pee, I go, you better come on. And he just stopped and looked at me, and I go, okay, I guess no treats then. And he came like running inside. It was so funny. It's so weird, you know, like Alex said to me yesterday, he said, I'm starting to worry that maybe Pee-Pee is starting to wind down. You know, that because like a lot of what we've read, I need to stay off those articles, but like, my vet always tells me that. She's like, every situation is completely different. Do not read articles about that stuff. But, you know, they'll say, oh, dogs with heart disease start to wind down, and they get real lethargic at the end, and they lose their appetite. You know, it's like, so I pick, you know, and choose symptoms that Pee-Pee has and put them all together and basically say, well, it's over, you know. And then I get real worried and real stressed out. And so Alex was like, yesterday, he was like, because Pee-Pee just didn't seem himself at all. And he was like, I think maybe he's starting to wind down. And Alex got real upset. And I was like, oh, I'm not ready for this. You know, I'm just not. I'm not ready for my life to change that drastically, I guess. And, I mean, we don't have any control, you know, over when pets go. I get so many, you know, comments in the comment sections from you guys. It just breaks my heart for you when you're like, oh, my, you know, I lost my dog today, or, and I always feel so horrible for you guys, you know. And I mean, I know it's a part of of life, you know, but so anyway, I was worried I was going to wake up and he was going to be 10 times worse than he had been on Thursday, but that wasn't the case. So he was 100% better, and I was very happy about it. And he's doing good this morning, because right before I left, I took them out, and he just leaped off the bed to go outside, and I took him outside, and then I gave him his morning medicine and stuff, so. Anyway, was singing that Donna song for Alex. I was like, oh, Donna. He was like, I was like, do you know that song? He was like, no. And I'd actually downloaded it like a couple weeks ago, and so I have it like on my iPad, or what do you call it when it's in your phone? Just your iTunes? Is that what you call it? Just your iTunes? I was like, here, I'm gonna play it for you. He was not impressed, and I was standing up and I was like swaying it, and I was using it as like a microphone, and I had a girl and I was her name. But my favorite part of this song, what's my favorite part? Well, it's not till the very end. I didn't realize it till I was listening to the song. It's like the last 30 seconds. So then I was like, do you know Richie Valens? And he was like, didn't he die in a plane? And I go, is that all you know, about Richie Valens? And he goes, well, what do you know? And I go, didn't you see the movie? And he goes, what movie? And then I couldn't remember what the movie was called, you guys, and I had to like look it up. And I couldn't remember it, and I looked up Richie Valens movies. Well, apparently, to my idiocy, Richie Valens was like in a ton of movies, like in the 50s or 60s or whatever, you know, like Elvis was. And so it pulled up all of those movies, and I was like, what was that? And then all of a sudden it pulled up Lou Diamond Phillips' picture, and I was like, yes, Lou Diamond Phillips, that's who it is. And it was La Bamba, and I had totally forgot that it was da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, la-la-la-la-la-la Bamba. So I said to Alex, this is truly what it is like living with me, just so you know. So for you 14 haters that dislike my video every day, this is what it would be like for you all the time. But anyway, I was like, do you know that movie? And he was like, what movie? And I was like, la 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 Bamba. I know I missed or added a few laws in there. But anyway, I hope I got one of my haters to at least smile just a little bit, because y'all are so bitter. But anyway, better! He said, of course I know that movie. I go, well, you don't know Donna. He goes, well, who's Donna? And I go, Donna was his girlfriend in the movie. He goes, he died in a plane accident. I go, I know he died in a plane accident, Alex, but he had a girlfriend, her name was Donna, and he wrote a song for her. Was she his wife or something? I can see her in the movie. Whatever happened to Lou Diamond Phillips? So Alex and I tonight, I got done with my videos. He came home. I did not start my diet today. I'm sure it's a real surprise to people, and I'm real let down over it. But anyway, I was like, well, maybe Monday. Anyway, maybe Monday in June. I mean, it's just a joke, isn't it? So anyway, I got food, not healthy food either. I got Burger King. And so anyway, and sat there and ate, and he had all this chili, and we watched both episodes, the last 2 episodes of American Horror Story that we hadn't watched. It's so still on the, I was at the end and didn't even know it. It's so still on the lake this morning. But we watched both episodes of American Horror Story that we hadn't seen, and yeah, it was good. I might have gotten Burger King and a Crunchwrap Supreme. A black bean Crunchwrap Supreme. And my husband might have had several bowls of chili and 2 cookies from Melissa's. Look, it was Friday night. Anyway. So, yeah, so we watched American Horror Story. I'm trying to think what the episodes were. They were good. It just doesn't seem very cohesive to me this season. I'll have to say, this is one of the seasons, American Horror Story. It's called 1984 if you're not watching it. And it's basically like modeled after like 80s horror movie, of which you know I love. And like, I was really excited about it when it started, and I'm not excited about it now. Like, it's okay. Like, I enjoy watching it, and I enjoy it. I enjoy having a show together that Alex and I watch. He really doesn't like the season, and but I'm just not that excited about it. I just don't think it's that good. I find myself talking about other stuff. Like, we were sitting there, we both love Billie Lourdes, I think is her name. And so he was like, he said something about her tonight. And I said, I love her. I said, she's fantastic. She was in Scream Queens too. And he was like, she just came out of nowhere. And I said, she's one of the richest women in Hollywood. And he goes, what? And I go, she's one of the richest women in Hollywood. And he said, we have this argument every time, he forgets who she is. And he goes, from doing Scream Queens in this show, no, she's not. And I go, her mother was Carrie Fisher, and her grandma was Debbie Reynolds. I don't know why I can always never remember it's Debbie Reynolds. And I said, I think she and her brother split the inheritance or something like that. Or she and Carrie Fisher's brother split the inheritance or something like that. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah. I go, Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia from Star Wars. He's like, I know. He was so cute tonight. Alex had all the dogs around him. But then because all the dogs, Boo and Tucker were like right together. It was so cute. But because so he sits down and then he puts the blanket over his lap. And then the dogs like all sit on the blanket around him. But then he thinks that is a reason to have me go get him things. So he was like, I have some sprees in there. But he said they were sweet tarts. He was like, I have some sweet tarts in there. Can you get those for me? And I went in there. And I was like, you mean sprees? He was like, yeah, sprees. Can you give me my sprees? I was like, yeah, sure. Then he was like, can you give me another blanket? Like, is there anything else you want me to do? Because you can't get up. He's like, I have the dogs. He kept on going, I have the dogs. Oh, man. I met a girl. Oh, that's my favorite part where it goes, oh, Jana. But that's at the very end, in case you want to know. It's like literally in the last 30 seconds. We went to a friend's house the other night that's like up the street, and we came from the other way, like down here, coming this way, and I never go down there. Like, I always turn around in this church, which is like out in the middle of nowhere anyway. If you live in Indianapolis, I'm in Oak Landon right now, which I have no reason to drive to Oak Landon, right? It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So, but it's like the backside of Geist, which is where I grew up. So if you go down here, there's like a gas station and like strip malls and stuff like that. So we came from that direction and we were going over here, and Alex said something about where, he goes, oh, I know where we are now. He was like, you know, me and so-and-so used to go to lunch over here all the time because Alex used to do a bunch of work stuff over here. And I was like, oh yeah. And all of a sudden we passed this church and I was like, that's that church that I turn around in all the time. It's at 800. The street is 800. Like 800 North or something. I can't see what it says. 800 Northwest or something. And I thought it said Boo on it. I was like, oh my God, it's Boo Street. That's so hilarious. And all of the corn is gone out here. Whenever I tell Alex that, like, I'll be like, oh yeah, I vlog out here. And he'll be like, you vlog out here? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you come out all the way out here and vlog. And I'm like, yeah, where do you think I vlog? Around our neighborhood? Like 200 times or something? I just got the biggest craving for a Dr. Pepper. I don't even know why. Doesn't that sound so good though right now, a Dr. Pepper? You're probably like, no. Why would you just randomly think of that? Because I do. It sounds delicious to me. I want to get a bunch of Christmas candles and Christmas stuff. I don't know when I want to put up the Christmas decorations this year. Well, really, it's just my little tree. But I might buy some other things this year and put it up too. But I don't want the house to be too cluttered. Although the other day I said to Alex, did he bring it up or did I bring it up? Because we were talking about getting new sheets. I love that comforter. I love so much. We might need to get like another one in a different color or something, so that when we clean them, we can just put the new one on. But he said, I was thinking about getting some new sheets, and I said, do you want to get another pair of sheets? Because I really liked that brand of jersey sheets I got. And that's what I meant. And he was like, yeah, do you want to get flannel? And I go, flannel? And he was like, I haven't had flannel sheets in forever, but I like flannel looking sheets that are jersey, you know? And he was like, yeah, you know, and because I had said to him, I said to him like a month or two ago, like, could we get some flannel sheets? So I like how they look, and I think they're cute and masculine and stuff. And he was like, yeah, he was like, we can get some flannel sheets. And then the other day he like mentioned it. He was like, are we going to get the flannel sheets? And I was like, well, we can. I can't believe that, like, I don't know what just made me think of this, that like every day of my dad's life, like he's been up for like 2 hours already. Like I know if I went to my dad's house right now, like he would have like read the newspaper, had like his first 2 cups of coffee for the day, and be like completely showered and dressed for the day, even on a Saturday. My dad was never like the type that, like, when he went into work, my dad is a super sharp dresser. And when I was a kid, he went to Chicago and he got his suits from this store called Mark Shale in Chicago. And my dad always wore the coolest suits. Like, in the winter, I just remember he had the most beautiful suits, and they were like, you know, all these tweeds and, you know, and then he would have just really pretty ties, and he always just looked like a college professor, you know, at Yale or something like that. And he wears little round rim glasses and stuff. And so anyway, my dad, my dad loves clothes, and he's just, but like those kind of clothes, you know, he's just a sharp dresser. But you know how like some people, like I can remember like when I was talking to Caroline, my cousin Caroline, about her dad, my Uncle Dave, and she would say, you know, Dad every day, no matter what, gets up and he puts on like khakis and like a button-down collared shirt, you know? Well, that is not my dad. That is not my dad. My dad is very much, like he gets up every day and takes a shower. He like gets up, reads the paper. My dad reads like every day, like the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, every single day. And drinks his coffee, and then probably reads some other book. My dad's always reading some obscure book about something that you would never, he goes to the bookstore and he buys like, he only reads nonfiction, and he buys like, you know, 5 or 10 books on topics that you have never heard of before about things. He just reads everything random. So when we go and see him, he's always telling us about, you know, something completely random about like, this religious organization, you know, in this island that nobody's ever heard of. Not religious organization, but religious group or whatever, you know, or it'll be about a certain way to like, you know, make tea, or some animal that's extinct or something. He's always reading about all these like just really random things. But anyway, but like on the weekends, my dad would get up, you know, and he would, showered and ready, but he would always just like in the summer, you know, put on like shorts and a t-shirt. My dad always, so this idea of me collecting t-shirts wherever I go, my dad did it. And it wasn't so much like a thing that he collected. I wouldn't say that he collected them. He just always bought t-shirts wherever he went. So like, you know, my entire childhood was filled with my dad. My dad has worn Patagonia since I can remember. And he always would wear these like grayish or khaki Patagonia shorts that were kind of like mid-thigh, but they were like sailor shorts, because my dad always was on a boat, and because he had his own sailboat, and then he just was always on sailboats. He did like a lot of like medical missionary work on sailboats and stuff like that. So then he would have a t-shirt on top of it that would say like Honduras or, St. Thomas or something. He had all these t-shirts, mostly from like the Caribbean, that he would wear. And that he would grab in the airport or whatever, or some bar that, like restaurant, like in these places. My dad was like such a cool guy. He, and he was single for a long time too, and he really enjoyed, I think, being single. And he enjoys being with my stepmom, but I think the time that he was single, he enjoyed it, because every winter, it would scare my mom to death. This was after they were separated, but he would go to Banff, Alberta, Canada. I think that's correct. And he would hike in the Canadian Rockies by himself. I have several t-shirts from when I was a kid that said Banff on them, and he did too. But he would hike there when he was a kid, or when I was a kid, by himself. He would go up there for like 2 or 3 weeks. He actually dated this girl for a while that he met up there, and she was from Australia. She was from New Zealand, and she was like one of the editors on the movie The Man from Snowy River. But anyway, she was like a world traveler. That was before like people just had like a backpack and traveled, I remember. He was so excited. She came to like visit. She stayed for like an extended period of time, and we like watched that movie, which I don't think I ever really understood. But anyway, and at the very end, her name was in the credits. But my dad, that was when he did a lot of traveling like that. That's when he did like a lot of the medical work, like in Honduras and places like that. My mom would be like, I can't believe that he's taking all these risks. That was when he went to the US Open. So, okay. My dad, so I come from a big tennis family. Like, my family loves tennis. So my dad went to the US Open one year, but he wanted to get like courtside. So he made up these, he bought a huge, my dad loves cameras, he always has. And so he had just bought this brand new Nikon camera, I think it was. And he had this like huge, what do you call it? Like neck thing. It was like this big, And it was like one of these, it was like, this is in the 70s. This was like 78, right? And it was like, it looked like a camera strap, but that was like woven, like hippie woven, you know what I mean? It was very artsy and colorful. And he like grew a beard out so that he looked like just some like random photographer that was like, and then he had these like jean cutoff shorts on, and like he has pictures of himself at his house, like, okay, and like these huge tube socks pulled up, and then he had on like just some t-shirt that said like St. Thomas or something on it, and he went with this huge camera, and he literally, I mean, this is back in the day, like today you couldn't do it probably, but he made this like some, I can't, like Sports Illustrated or something like that. He made a press pass and laminated it. He laminated it and everything, and he went there and got courtside, and literally got pictures of these guys courtside, and at the US Open in New York City, and has pictures of him like, down on one like, knee like this, like taking pictures and stuff that people took of him. That's so funny that my dad did that. My dad is somebody that is like totally unafraid. Like he is unafraid, and really, and we talk a lot about this word unbothered. Like he is really unbothered. Like It's funny how it has changed for him though over time. Like when I was younger, you know, like he would get really incensed is not really the word, but like, you know, if you told him something, he would get kind of heated about it. Not really heated, but like, okay, this isn't okay, and blah, blah, blah. He just isn't like that today. Like, if you tell him something, you know, he's just like, he just kind of laughs, you know, he's like, okay, you know, like, he just doesn't give things any time or energy that he doesn't care about. If that makes sense. Like, he loves his dog, he loves my stepmom, he loves me, he loves Alex, he loves the house, he loves being on the water, he loves his work. Other than that, he loves to read, he loves to travel. Other than that, he doesn't pay it a whole lot of attention. He just doesn't, you know? My jaw is hurting, I don't know why. Boo Radley is always the last dog to wake up, usually. Well, Pee-Pee has been the last couple days, but Boo Radley usually is. And Tucker's always the first one to wake up. But tonight, Boo Radley, I had to wake him up to take him outside. And Boo Radley was crying while he was dreaming. He was like, you know, running in his sleep. And he was like, Well, it was so cute. What do you think dogs dream of? Do you think they just dream of like running outside or chasing birds or eating snacks? Or when you think about the fact that like our dogs or cats or pets or whatever, they know us, and they kind of recognize probably some people on the street or friends that, or family that we have that come by, and that's the limitation of their world, you know? Although, like, as much as dogs seem to understand, I really think they understand a lot more than we give them credit for. I also think that dogs watch TV. I don't think they understand it, but I think they actually can see images. Like, I was reading something and it said a long time ago, and it said that dogs can't see like the images that are on a TV. And then I read something recently. Is that a new strip mall? What is that? What is that? Oh, I've got to go see what this is. This is a Tide Cleaners drive-through? What is that? I want to go there. I might have to try that for my review channel. But, then I read something recently and it said that dogs do know what is, this is like a brand new thing. It's kind of back here and kind of hard to get to though. That they do know, like when they're watching TV, what they're seeing. Which is funny because like our dogs watch TV. Boo Radley has no clue what's on that TV. But Pee-Pee kind of watches it and he kind of goes like this and watches it, you know? Tide Cleaners. I don't get it. Drive-through entrance. Do you think it's like you drop your clothes off? It's gotta be. I'm gonna look it up because I wanna know. I wanna know if she really loves me. Oh my God, they're everywhere. Dry cleaning and laundry. Wash and fold. Tide Cleaners planning to open 5 indie area franchises. Why can't I get to the article? I don't want to leave a comment. It says you must be logged in to leave a comment. I don't care to be I don't care. I just want to read the article. What's the problem? Tide Cleaners provides personalized washing, folding, dry, cleaning, and alterations. The future of laundry care, brought to you by America's #1 trusted brand. What are people going back to all of that? Like, oh, there's a little dog park in there. How cute is that by that apartment complex? But I will tell you what's funny is, it seems like it was so long ago that we didn't have a washer and dryer. Do you remember that period of time that we didn't have a washer and dryer? And we had to go to the laundromat, which I quite frankly loved going to the laundromat. Nowadays, it seems like, well, I don't right now, because our washer and dryer is so fast that, like, I put a load of wash in, and then I get it done, and then that's it. But it seems like I do a load of wash, like, every single day. I do something. Whether it's towels and linens. Actually, I need to do towels. We have so many towels, though. We don't have so many towels to clean. We have so many towels, period. So, like, we clean them, and then we put them, you know, away. And we have more towels that we bring out, because we always buy towels. It seems like whenever there's like a sale, like on nice towels, like, well, Alex is good about that, about buying towels. I usually buy like the bedding, and he buys towels. So yeah. But I used to, like, always, like, once we got the washer and dryer, I would always have something in the washer or the dryer, and, you know, be like running it. I don't so much. I wonder if that place is open, that Rise place. It's interesting to me that a lot of these, like, brunch places are not open at 5 till 7 on Saturday morning. I'm really kind of surprised by that. I think Patachou's open by now. It's at the end and I didn't know it. I said this was going to be short, and look, it ended up being long. I'm awake now. I don't think that I'm going to be able to go back to bed, which is fine, because then I can just make my videos for the day that I want to make and stuff. But, part of the problem is I don't know what I'm going to make my videos about just yet. Well, I could drive around and listen to my audiobook. God knows I need to do that, so. What is with all this crazy construction? Anyway, I think I'm gonna get off here now and just make this a little bit shorter, and I'll try to vlog longer tomorrow, you guys. Oh my God, this huge detour. What does it say? I'm gonna go this way, because I don't know how to go that way around. But anyway, I'm gonna get off here now, and listen to, I guess, my audiobook. I wanna get a Dr. Pepper. And I've gotta go, oh, I've gotta buy Carlitos' birthday present. I still have to go do that. So anyway, I'm gonna go to the Meijer and do that. I hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, do not have other plans. Enjoy your day, make the most of it. Do something today. Are you kidding me? This road is closed too. I feel like I'm stuck in a Twilight Zone. Anyway, do something today, road closed to through traffic. Do something today that that you're gonna look back on and be proud of, or happy that you did. You're exchanging a day of your life for it. Life is not a dress rehearsal. And make sure that you look in yourself in the mirror. Back up. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and you say to yourself, I love you, you are valuable, you are important. Important. and you allow yourself to know your own self-value and your own self-worth. You gotta start telling ourselves that on a daily basis. And most importantly, make sure that you pass it on to somebody else and let them know that they are important to you. Live your life with compassion, love, and kindness. And I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!